Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Woo.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. And, you hear the bells. It's kind of like, I think maybe in our new building, we'll have bells to announce the beginning of Mariv,
Maybe
something like that. So it's good to see you. It's good to see Shabbat. It's good to be here in the flesh, though it's good to see our Zoom participants too. And we are still in the month of Elul, creeping along. Hi, Ruby. I see you. Okay. We're so glad you're here. And I also see that you don't have a cast on your arm anymore. So that's great. You're getting better all the time. That's wonderful to see. We're all trying to get better all the time. That's why we're here. So let's get better all the time. If you have your prayer booklets for the month of Elul, we begin with Oziv Zimrat Yah. And remember that my strength and your song will be my salvation. Oziv Zimrat Yah.
Oziv Zimrat Yah, Vayehi Yeshua. Oziv Zimrat Yah, Vayehi Yeshua.
So we're halfway through the month of Elul. It means that 2 weeks from this evening will be Erev Rosh Hashanah, and look forward to seeing you all then. You won't have to wear your masks, so that's an advantage. And now that we're halfway through and we come to our prayer about turning and the leaves turning, they're still not turning. Halfway through Elul, they're pretty great. Oh, I see one there. I'll see more than last week. So we can turn to our tasks of turning, because halfway through Elul now is the time for turning. The leaves are beginning to turn from green to red and orange. The birds are beginning to turn and are heading once more toward the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning is instinctive. But for us, turning doesn't come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to make a turn. It means breaking with old habits. It means admitting that we have been wrong, and that is never easy. It means losing face. It means starting all over again, and this is always painful. It means saying, I am sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change. These things are terribly hard to do, but unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. God, help us to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith. Turn us around and bring us back toward you. Revive our lives as at the beginning, and turn us toward each other, for in isolation there is no life. Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Hanei Shabbat.
So that tune for Lecha Dodi is indeed evocative because it is the tune used for Dodi Li, Come My Beloved, which is used at weddings. And of course, our beloved this evening is the Shabbat, and so we greet the Shabbat with that tune. But it's also a reminder to me, you know, I like to take this Shabbat moment to pause and take an opportunity to reflect on the week past. And during these COVID days, it seems that it's more challenging than ever to distinguish between the days. And yet we're given each day as a gift. So I know in my own mind, I want to thank you, Cantor, for that tune, because you reminded me that we had two weddings, two TBT weddings this past weekend. So Mazel Tov to the Kislak family and Mazel Tov to the Gordon family, each of whom had weddings. That's the Mike and Carol Gordons. And it's nice to know that even during these stressful times, we've got wonderful, wonderful events and life cycle celebrations that continue on. And what a statement of courage and human resilience that we continue to live with all our hearts, souls, and with all our might. So so think a little bit about what you did on Tuesday. Raise your hand if you remember what you did on Tuesday, Dafka. Oh, that's good. Was there something special on Tuesday? Oh, you went to the Bronx Zoo. That is very special. How many people went to the Bronx Zoo? Okay. Well, put that one on your bucket list. What'd you do on Thursday? You remember? Anyone have a Thursday memory? Toby? What's that? Oh, so you led your support group. That's your Thursday. Well, good. Good for supporting others. We all need support, and we're glad to be together for that. So bottom of page 1, we continue with our service. Let's read together. There is no human being who does not carry a treasure in the soul, a moment of insight, a memory of love, a dream of excellence, a call to worship. We're about to rise for the bark who. Please rise. Please be seated. We turn to page 2 and read in Hebrew together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah potech sha'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et ha'kochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia hirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבי.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
And our Via Hafta for Elul is the middle of page 2. We continue responsively. You shall love the ones who are close with all your heart, with all your spirit, with all your strength.
Remember these words, inscribe them on your heart. Love them when they struggle, when they sadden and disappoint you. Love them when they fail.
See the good within them even when they can't. Look at them and listen, even when it's hard. Be grateful for their guidance, even their reproof, when they save you from yourself.
Love them when they give you joy, and love them when they don't. When you lie down, let go of anger. When you rise up at dawn, begin again.
Praise them for their deeds at home. Speak to them in public with respect.
Bind yourself to the ones you love, with promises kept and vows fulfilled.
Open to them the gates of your heart, the doorway of your soul, and let them know you. So shall the ones you cherish feel your love, your presence, and your care. Then Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you this song of utter joy.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'arba kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'arba kodesh. Nora tedilo, osei felech,
Thank you, Ruby. Kindness. Before you know what kindness really is, you have to lose things. You have to feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, it is I you have been looking for, and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. Kindness.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית העולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית העולם.
So I was at the synagogue today. Cantor was there, Kim was there, Bonnie was there, because the staff is going to the synagogue. And it's a good thing. Well, it's good for lots of reasons, but it's a good thing because we're bearing witness to what is happening at the synagogue right now, which is which is a mixture of the bitter and the sweet. I guess that's why you have that word bittersweet, because very, very fond memories of things that happened in places that are coming down now. But you can't build without that shift. And we're shifting and we're building. And so that's very exciting. But that's not what I wanted to tell you. What I wanted to tell you was that when I was at the synagogue today, Kim said to me, "So what are you putting in the water?" where you live. And so I just want to stop any rumors right here, right now, because there's nothing in the water where we live. We have good city water, just like Temple Beth Tikvah is about to have too. But we also seem to have a rapidly increasing TBT membership living in our part of the world. And I don't know, what would you say the Jewish percentage of Guilford is? Anybody know? I'm sure it's under 1%. You know, so we're pushing 50% of the people who live there, who live by us in our condo complex, our TBT members, and I'm delighted that the curve has been helped by our newest members, returning members to TBT, and I see them out there, so they can just wave. Betty and Eric Manis, our Temple Beth Tikvah's newest members. Sorry, Jennifer, you've been usurped now, so what are we going to do? So a special welcome to you. And just in case, you know, nobody's counting, but there are 12 units and 5 are TBT members. So we're doing our job. You look at your block and make sure, you know. Okay, all right, but really a special welcome. We're delighted to have you, and at this season of return, it's even sweeter to say we're delighted to have you back. So welcome. Bottom of page 3, we rise for our Amidah.
Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely, open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufia ki tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zacher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Lifnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Boyle Lam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morbid Hatal, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Tzomech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Bagivurut, Umidah Melech, Melech Meimit, Umechayem, Umotzmiach Yeshua, B'nehemot Atal HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol, Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim b'chol yom Yehalelu Chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated as we take a moment to sit in silence with our own silent prayers.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon Lecho Shalom, Ki atahu melech Adon, Lecho Shalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'toch einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Beautifully done. Your prayer put me into my prayer. My prayer, I was thinking about James Joyce and how James Joyce and his words are so similar to the words in our prayer for peace. We'll say shalom because we're praying right now for a peace that will descend on everybody. You know, we want that peace to come to Kenosha. We want that peace to come to Portland. We want that peace to come right here. And I think about James Joyce, who just in his book, The Dead, concluded with an image of snow falling equally over the living and over the dead. And I think about peace like that blanket of snow. Let it. I don't want the snow to come too soon. Don't take me literally. But that snow blankets us all equally. And would that we could have a blanket of peace that was truly equal. Can you hear that song? May that be God's will. So that's my prayer, which leads into just a word I want to say about our Torah portion this Shabbat, which is Ki Tavo, because Ki Tavo is about blessings and about curses. So I just focused on some blessings. I want to pay attention to the curses a little bit because these curses are more colorful than anything you would ever imagine. So I really don't want to share curses because, you know, enough with curses already, but there's one that's so highly graphic and imaginative, and this is what it says, I kid you not, straight out of the book of Deuteronomy. This is, you know, Moses is speaking on behalf of God to the Israelite people in the desert just before they're about to enter into the promised land after 40 years of struggling, having been escaped from slavery. So that's the scene. And Moses says, that with God's voice says, may the Lord strike you with the Egyptian inflammation, with hemorrhoids. May the Lord strike you with the Egyptian inflammation and hemorrhoids. Now, oy vey, what kind of a curse is that? And why would Moses direct this curse to the Jewish people? Why would he do such a thing? It's definitely a colorful curse, and in Jewish life, if you want to see some colorful curses, you need to go directly from the book of Deuteronomy to the joys of Yiddish, because there's nothing like a Yiddish curse. And I remember my father, alav shalom, his favorite curse to utter was, "May you live like an onion with your head underground." Right, right. And then another one, "May all your teeth fall out, except for one. And that one should have a toothache." You know, lots of humor there in our curses. But Moses in the Torah, why would he do such a thing and wish for hemorrhoids upon the people that he so loves? And I think the context matters. Not the context I just gave you before, but the fact that Moses is about to die. And Moses famously is not accepting of his death. Moses wrestles with God and fights with God about that death. And Moses is angry that he is going to die. Moses is angry. And that's the context for this blessing, this curse. And as we all can do when we are angry or fearful or scared, we can hurt the people that we love. And so these harsh curses, and there are more, you can look at them tomorrow, perhaps. I don't know if that's going to be the focus of Torah study or if you're going to flip on to some of the other good stuff. But if you look on in the Torah portion, you will see that it is Moses' great anger as he is reckoning with his own death more than real curses that he is bestowing upon the Israelites. And we need to learn from this, particularly in this month of Elul, that we have to be careful about how we lash out when we are angry. And there's a lot to be angry about right now. There's a lot that's downright unfair. But we are in the month of Elul. So we especially note that we have to be careful, we have to be kind, and we have to apologize for our wrongdoing. And then in the Torah portion, it's interesting that we hear these words. It says, "Yet to this day, the Lord has not given you a mind to understand, or eyes to see, or ears to hear." So how can we be so loving and understanding and listen if we don't have ears or eyes or minds with which to do these things? An open mind and open eyes and open ears are necessary for growth and for moving forward in life. So why would God deprive us of these tools? And the answer, I think, is in the Hebrew. Don't read, "Yet to this day the Lord has not given you a mind or eyes or ears," but rather read, "Until today the Lord has not given you a mind or eyes or ears," focusing on the fact that today, this day, we are being given the gift of a mind and eyes and ears. So today, and only this day, because there is only the present, God has given us a mind for understanding, and eyes for seeing, and ears for listening. So when it comes to making amends, there's no time like the present. Take heed. We're going to turn to page 4, the bottom of the page, for our Misha Berach. And we include in our prayer for healing today Barbara Stahl, Joan Green, Jill Lesage, Sam Powell, Gloria Sack, Judy Posey, Dr. Saul Basso, Joan Sidney, David Char, Maggie Atkinson, Amelia Sidney, Iris Lostetter, Luca William Battisto, Ira Weiss, Gloria Temchin, Erica Gerfine, Alan Schwartz, Rob Gotlin, Martin Gluck, Ken Silberstein, Charlotte Halverson, Jack Bernstein, Elizabeth Powers Brown, Marielle Sheepers, Indiana Peck, Martha and Mark Potter, Ben Peck, Jay Fliss, Sue Yeris, Deborah Poulin, and Gloria Newell Topping. If there are others to include in our prayer, indicate with a hand and give you an opportunity to share. Paula. Yeah. Mike. Okay. And if you're on the Zoom, you can write that name in the chat. Our Misha Berach for their healing.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Abraham Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Nishabera imotenu mekor Abraham leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Top of page 5, please rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula le'yotzeh bereshit, shelo asaru kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama, shelo samchalkeinu kahem, begor baleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korbim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא כי אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Unless your name is Jeff Babin.
Shabbat Shalom. So wonderful to see all of you here on this beautiful Shabbat evening. And a special welcome to all of our newest members. It's really great to have people in these difficult times joining us at our synagogue and being out here with us all tonight. And who would have known we could now have a daily minyan in the parking lot of a Central Guilford condominium association. I don't think Henry Whitfield, when he came in 1639, would have envisioned that to Guilford. So tomorrow morning is a meditation from 8 to 9, and then Torah study from 9 to 10. The links are in your email inbox and also at the website at tbtshoreline.org. Next week, again, we will have Friday night services here in person and simulcast over Zoom right here again at 6 p.m. So we're going to keep them even in September. We're not going back to 7:15 yet. We're going to still have 6 p.m. services for our outdoor services. And so that's next Friday night, the 11th. And then the very next night, Saturday evening, the 12th, we are going to ratchet up our preparations for the high holidays with our Slichot service, which will be at 7 p.m. on Zoom. So calendar it, and we will send you the link to that. You should have received high holiday packets now in the mail and email. High holiday forms, particularly if you want a name printed in the Yisker Book of Names, have to be received by the office this Tuesday, the 8th. To add your loved ones to the book. Let the office certainly know about that if you want to do that. Our membership directory is going visual. We're going to be having a photo membership directory. If you haven't yet sent in a photo of your family, please do so to the office at office@tbtshoreline.org. And that'll be really exciting. And we'll have a photo directory with or without masks. I guess it's your choice, but without masks would be helpful for those photos. The booklets you're all reading from tonight for the service, please put them on the table on your way out, so we'll have them for you next week. And again, all of our Shabbat services through September are going to be here outdoors and over Zoom, but also here in person at 6 p.m., except, of course, for September 18th, which is Erev Rosh Hashanah, which will be the 8 p.m. Zoom service. And we will pray for no rain. I'm sure usually there's prayers for rain in most religions, but not until after Simchat Torah. We will have an anti-rain prayer. And with that, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Jeff. And your announcement about high holidays reminds me that we are constantly challenged to make the most meaningful holiday services. And a couple of things, the Slichot service, which is at 7 p.m. on the 12th, and that's going to be on Zoom. You know, we change that's the service where we change the Torah covers from blue to white. So just you wait. Nothing stops us. We got that figured out. And Jeff had figured out, so thank you. I can now make this late announcement that you got in your inboxes today that please do register for the high holidays and everything, but for every single member of the synagogue, don't worry, we are going to put the link for the services in your inbox. Probably, you know, in the week before Rosh Hashanah and the week before Yom Kippur, but then like the day before too, because I know it can be challenging to cut and paste that link into your virtual calendar and you lose the link. So we'll try and keep it on the top of your email box. But we are definitely looking forward to our high holidays, and we've got some special treats there. We're going to continue in our service now with our Kaddish. And before we say our Kaddish, we think of those we have loved and lost. And we think especially of those who have passed away in recent days. And so I'd ask those who are in the first 30 days of mourning, if you would please rise. And those, we remember as well those who have passed away in the past year. And would you please rise if you are mourning someone from the past, within this past year? And then for those who are observing a yort site, would you please rise? As we remember those for whom we observe Shloshim, Dorothy Bromberg, mother of Mona Goodman, and Tony Anastasia, life partner of Jim Miller, and Stan Leonard, Dr. Stan Leonard, family friend of Nancy's and mine. We remember as well those for whom we observe Yortzeit: Christine Pinchbeck, Jerry Porter, Wayne Fenton, Don Shapiro, Benjamin B. Levine, Sally Spiegel, Mina Wass, Cindy Diamondstein, Annie Zolshan, George Rader, Benjamin Levine, Irene Lane, Jay Agranov, Leo Voss, Dorothy Pollock, Tekla Rosenthal, Lillian Barron, Merrill Roberts, Judge Leonard Garth, Alan Johann, and Irving Gleish. If there are other names to include in the Kaddish, please say those names now. And we say, Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing as together we rise for Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei omayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiram v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. May the God who makes peace reign in the heavens above, make peace reign on each and every one of us and all the world. Together we say, amen. Please be seated for our closing song. It is our Elul custom to close with Achat Sha'alti, which is from the book of Psalms. And it says that there's one thing that I ask, that I might dwell in the house of God. And we'll conclude the singing with the blasts on the shofar. And so Jen Silva, would you please come forward to get ready for the blasts? And Corey Guzzi, you're right there. Will you please come forward, because we have some delightful violin accompaniment for Achat Sha'alti. And yes, you stay right there until the song's over, and then you're gonna come here so everyone gets you, okay?
Achat Sha'alti me'et Adonai otav akesh. Achat Sha'alti me'et Adonai otav akesh. Shivti bevei Adonai kol yemei chayai.
Kia. Shavari. Trua. Kia Gdola. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai our God, we thank you for the call of the shofar and for the strength of the Baalat shofar, who reminds us with those blasts that there isn't much time. We need to get ready. It's a call to action, a call to tikkun, to repair our homes and our hearts and our world. Can you hear that song? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.